Shanae Bourne and Alejandro Brati from the Believe in Yourself, Believe in Your Business show, and we welcome you to Spanglish World Network on Singo TV channel 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Singo TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. And while you download, make sure to rate it and leave a comment. The app is free, and Singo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and Fire TV Sticks, and Roku and Roku Sticks, and also on all smart TV devices 2016 forward. And today we welcome Marquelle to the stage. Hi, Marquelle. How are you? Marquelle, are you with us? Ah, I see. Markelle's internet is down. So while we wait for her to get it up and running again, how are you, Alejandro?
I am doing great, Shanae.
That's awesome. Awesome. Marquelle,
Yeah, and today we will see what happens because I am taking care of the two kids. I am here alone, so maybe we will have the kids running around very soon. Hello, Markel. Do you hear us? Oh,
Alrighty.
so maybe in the meanwhile, we can start to be talking some of the things that we are doing, Shanae, and some of the stuff that is happening. So I know, for example, I know that Markel is connecting with us because well, to share about her story, she is really passionate about uh, health, is passionate about brain health, passionate about nutrition. So she has a mix of things that's why for me it's like, okay, let's have her in the show and start to have more discussions about that. Uh, So, hello, Markel. I know that you even moved to another place to be here with us. Can you hear us well? Can you hear us? Hello? Oh, we hear you now. No, we don't hear you.
Tell us a little bit about what Marquelle does, and yeah, why we invited her.
So, that what I was saying is something that I like a lot about what Markel is doing is she is in the like help with nutrition. That's something that wasn't the first thing that she was doing. Uh, But suddenly she decided, okay, let's, because of the thing that happened to her with her family and one of her kids, she decided I need to learn a way to improve myself with food. And that's, if you ask me, that's exactly what happened to me also in the past. I was in a corporate working a lot of hours. You know, that's something that happens a lot when you are in corporate working like too many hours, sometimes 12, 14 hours per day. And the first thing that happens when you are having these type of things is you forget about yourself and forget about taking care of yourself, forget about taking care of your mind, your body, what is the food that you are eating. And suddenly it's like, okay, I need food, but it's something quick just to start to continue working and maybe so it was like I was alone at that moment and I really didn't have like somebody at home waiting for me with a good dinner or something. That means that for me was like, okay, if I am going late, I will go and buy a pizza or a hamburger or something quick and go to home and eat something and sleep because I am tired. And really, that when you start to do that, okay, if you do it for like a week, it's nothing wrong. But if you start to become that as a habit, that creates a lot of issues. And in my case, I even enter a process of being like with high blood pressure, with my liver that was really wrong. Uh, I was taking two pills for high blood pressure, and that was for me really really bad. And when I started, like, went to the doctor and started to see what was happening, at the end he was like, "Okay, it seems that this is genetically, and something that you are not going to, you can do anything about it. The only thing is you have to take your pills, and that's it." But in my case, my body, of course, I get the blood pressure in a good way, but my body started to react with other like side effects in my liver was really bad. Like I was taking uh, alcohol every day or something like that, and a lot. That was not something that was happening, but at the end, my body was reacting like that. Hello, Markel, can you hear us?
Hello.
Oh, no. Can you hear us? So, just finishing the story that I was telling you, Shanae, what I found is that really the food that you are eating and how you are eating it can make a big difference. And
Yeah.
and if you are, another thing that I needed to take is some vacation, some time to really disconnect.
Okay.
And when that happened, I took some time to give my body time to heal, and that's something that I believe it's amazing that you can help, and your body has the ability to heal if you allow it. And that's something that I see in myself. It's not something that I'm telling you. Yeah, it's something that happened in others, and no, I started to eat differently, understand how to eat better. I started to do some intermittent fasting. That's something
Mhm.
also that helped me a lot. Uh, and the third thing was taking time for myself, like to do some meditation, to do some thinking. Hello, Markel. Oh, we don't hear you now.
I don't know if she's muted. But while Markel sorts that out, Alejandro, where did you come to a point where you decided that your body, you don't want to have the medication anymore? Where is there a different option for you to get your body healthy again?
So, according to doctors, I had to take two pills, those pills, for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
That was something that they were saying.
Yeah,
Uh, I was taking them. I took them for more than 2 years, and I am telling you, this happened maybe like 20 years ago.
yeah,
Uh, and but really, I was looking for ways to improve that. I didn't believe, and I was not believing that that was going to be my the rest of my life. I was looking for ways to do it, to change it. And what I did was I connected with people and started to talk with people, and I realized that there was somebody that told me, Alejandro, read this book. This is something that I haven't read, but maybe it's going to help you. And and I started to read it, and it was exactly about that. And really, the book was called it's called Clean, from
yeah,
Alejandro Hunger. And that book was, when I was reading it, I was thinking like, okay, this is, he is describing my life. The only thing that I am not like him is I am not a doctor. He is a doctor also, but I am not. But the other things, if you read it, that's Alejandro. Everything that he was telling and how he was behaving and everything was myself. Until I realized, okay, let's find out what I can do with this. And I started to see like, okay, he was giving little steps, like, okay, try 21 days eating
Mhm.
differently. 21 days, nothing longer, just 21 days. When you finish the 21 days, you're like, okay, can you do it another 21 days? And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I started to feel the difference. And really, after a month, I could start to eliminate the pills, and I was fine. And I have been fine for more than, uh, I don't know, more than 20 years now without pills, and I'm okay. I also learn in some. That's another tip that I learned, and that's why I really love to connect with wellness, because there is a lot of wisdom behind that sometimes we don't know. Quickly, let me check if Markel, are you listening to us?
We can
I
hear
know that
you.
you are with your cell phone. Maybe you can check the settings and from there see what is the microphone, because we don't hear you. And there is people in Facebook and in different places looking. I want to hear Markel. I want to hear you too. So I have been making some time, but
Okay, perfect.
and just to let everybody know, Markel even moved to another place from her home just to secure that she can have a good connection and everything. And things happen sometimes, and this is what is happening here. Oh, I am having the opportunity to tell you about a little bit about one of the stories that I have about my health, and why for me it's key, and why this is something that I really like to help people to improve. And another thing, just to let you know, to finish the story, Shanae, another thing that I found, one time I had some issues. Well, I went to a doctor. I had some issues with breathing, like some. I was getting a cold and flu like very frequently, and
Okay.
I went to a doctor here in Mexico, and when I was with that doctor, he was not exactly the normal doctor. He has some things that he developed in other countries, and he told me he saw that I had a little bit higher my blood, my blood pressure, uh, and he told me, Alejandro, I am going to give you the best pill that you can get.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, tell me what is the best pill. Again, I don't want to start to take pills, but tell me, I want to listen. And he stopped me, put me in his, like in his bed, sitting, and he asked me, Alejandro, what I am going to ask you today is to breathe. Breathe deeply for 5 minutes. And he was like guiding me directly. Okay, now you have to inhale. Now you have to exhale. Everything with your nose, nothing with your mouth. And I started to do it. And at that moment, I was like 150, 80, something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, and really, in 5 minutes after breathing well, I was 120, 80, like normal blood pressure. So it
Oh,
was the second thing to tell me, like, okay, if you breathe well and you eat well, there is no way you can have a blood pressure that is so high, and your body is going to heal. So that's another thing that for me was, well, that is huge.
All right.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we hear you. This is great.
My great friend, Allie Taylor from the Bart Music School is helping me. And
Now I can't get the chat. There we go. Okay, so you just
Thank you, Ali.
all right. Thank you.
So
It's
let's
great to
go
be here
directly
with
with
you.
you, Markel. I want to hear your story. Where you first? What are you doing now? Because you are doing a lot of stuff right now. So
I
tell us a little bit of what are you doing?
So I'm a nutritionist, and one of my big emphasis right now is a class that I've put together called Foundations of Health through Food and Spirit. And it incorporates mind and body with the nutrition and lifestyle choices, and then spirit through, meditation, connecting to God or your higher power. And I am also in a neuroencoding specialist certification and the Brain Health Revolution with Dr. Amen and Dr. Joseph Tendam, where we are working on neuroencoding, which is where we are able to tap into our best self, or if something's going wrong, we're able to shift from that negative to positive quicker and faster. And so that's very exciting. I really love doing this work. And the reason why I have studied more about brain health and neuroencoding is because as a nutritionist, I have found that I have a lot of great tools and educational materials to help people to improve their health and wellness, and that there is also a lot of the mindset aspect of being able to make the changes that they need to take their health from, point A to point B. And so they go very well together. And I really find that we can work on the nutrition, and it's just better if we can couple with the neuroencoding, which focuses also on reestablishing habits and creating strategies and plans to be able to go from point A to point B, and to also break through those barriers that are, a limitation for people's minds.
And I really love that. I have seen that in myself. Like when you can have like the best process and the best nutrition that you have to take and all the lists of everything. But if you are not believing, that's why believing yourself is something that we are talking here all the time. If you're not believing that you can do it, or you are believing that that food is not going to help you, and you are angry and you have like all these like different things in your mind, even the food is not going to give you the nutrients that you are looking for. So I agree 100% what you are doing. The connection is powerful, really powerful, because it's going to change the game for every person that is going to be working with you. So I love that. A quick question, Markel. Let's go back to your life where you were not a nutritionist before you started to really believe you. I know that you were going through some issues with your kid.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and how that moved you to, okay, I have to find a solution. And you created a solution, and that's why you are here today.
Yes. So our oldest daughter got very sick. We had actually sent her to a school, but right before we sent her to school, there was a tornado, and it took off the roof of the school and did a lot of damage. So they spent all summer cleaning up the school and making the repairs so the children could enter in the fall. And they were still doing a lot of repairs on the school, tarring the roof, painting the walls, lacquering the gym floors, and my daughter developed a toxic overload on her system, and she just could not handle it, and she had a total immune system collapse. It was very scary. I took her to multiple doctors, and they ran lots of tests. She had developed a latex allergy from all of the toxins and petroleum products that they were using in that school, or products that contain latex. And other than noting that she had a latex allergy, they said they couldn't do anything for her. She had developed so much toxins to the point that she would go into anaphylaxis. And that was really scary. She'd be broke out in hives. She couldn't breathe. And yes, I carried an EpiPen around, and it was very frightening. And I had met a friend right before all of that happened who introduced us to a doctor that was a big help. And his main emphasis was in nutrition, food and nutrition, as well as supplements to support her system. And so I had to really rely on him because although I kept turning to the medical field, they kept saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't help you." And then they would send me out the door with this daughter that was highly reactive. And so I really threw myself in because I really wanted to help my daughter. When a child is 6 years old, they're not making things up. Um, and it also had interfered with her mental health as well. And as we would work on healing and repairing her system through food and nutrition, as well as I had to really work on learning things to shift my mind as well so that I could, have more of a positive attitude and not delve into the negative, because that would also impact her health at the time because she was so sensitive. And we got to a point where my daughter was doing pretty well, and the doctor in the area pretty much had a gag order that he couldn't educate. So he could give me recommendations, and then he would have to send me out the door because he couldn't tell me, reasons why. So I decided I would go and get my education. And at first, I got a certification, and that allowed me to be able to learn more and understand more of what was going on with her health and why different things were happening, how her gut was compromised and how that was correlating with her immune system crashing, and how we needed to work on both of those together to be able to help improve her health and wellness. And that allowed me to purchase supplements and ask questions with other practitioners and do more training. And then I got to the point where I knew that the certification wasn't going to be enough for me to keep educating and helping other people with nutrition, because the laws are starting to change. So I again went on to my master's in human nutrition and functional medicine, so that then I could have access to more of the tools and resources that I needed to not only help myself,
Quick,
but help others.
quick comment, because I know that just tell us quickly how many kids do you have,
I have 6.
and
And,
that's why I want to ask you, because how you are doing all this stuff and you have other 5 kids that you have to take care of.
uh, you know, it was challenging, and I was a bit crazy. And I know my mom even said, What? You're going to do what? She's like, You have 6 children and a husband. And I said, I know. So I was very passionate about learning about health and the way nutrition impacts the body as well as the mind. And I really needed to find answers. I still needed answers for my daughter, and I was so driven. I think it was just the drive to learn what I needed to learn to help my daughter and help other people who were in that same situation. They kept reaching out for help, and they weren't getting answers to actually help find a solution of helping them to improve their health and to actually make improvements. And that diet piece is a key factor. It's one piece of the puzzle. Mental health is also a piece of the puzzle. So I do encourage people to reach out to a therapist or other mental health practitioners. And as a neuroencoding specialist and a certified brain health specialist, I can also help focus on areas to help improve mindset and shift from that negative to positive.
Do you have questions, Shanae? I will let you know.
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I
So
do think that it's incredible that you have 6 kids and you're doing all of this. That takes a lot of courage.
yeah. And I also, because I do have a large family, I knew that I needed to get in and get my degree quickly. So I did my degree as quick as I could. I think it was about 14 or 15 months that I did that. Um, and I'm really glad I did. It has been a great benefit for myself as well as others. And I do really think that when you have a why of what you're working towards, why am I working on this? Um, why is this important to me? It will really it'll help you to achieve your goals. And
Tell, tell us about your why. I know your kid, but tell us about what you were thinking at that moment about that why for you.
so my why for me was, at the time, I have all of this information and all of this experience that I have learned how to do to help my daughter. And I wanted to be able to help other people. And I thought, wow, if there's just a degree barrier, I need to, get this degree so that I can continue to help other people. And so my why was I've seen this work and seen miracles happen in my own family's life with my daughter, and also, of course, as we improved all of the nutrition and lifestyle and mental health tools and techniques into our own life, my own life was improving as well as the whole entire family. I knew that I wanted to be able to share this with other people because it was going to help them change their lives. It was going to help them to be able to do the things that they wanted to do and have the energy to be able to do it, and also be able to have clarity of thought and mind to be able to go out and work and spend time with their family and serve and be able to do that feeling good. And so that was my big why, was I know that these things work and I've used it. I can use what I have learned, and then I know that as I learn more that I'll be able to take those and create personalized plans for those that I work with. So with nutrition, we call it personalized nutrition. And, we get very specific with the lifestyle that each individual is living, and we create meal plans for them to be able to implement. We work on teaching. We talk about roadblocks and challenges to help them to navigate through those. Go ahead.
No, and yeah, no. For me, I am loving what you are saying, and I have like a question. When you are talking about nutrition, you even did the certification for that.
Yes.
So, and you started to see, you saw how your kid changed because of that. I believe that even your family started to be much better, only by understanding how to eat better. So tell me, what are the things that you started to see that change from that point? Like, okay, this is great, this is working because work with my kid, and how you apply the things that on neuroencoding and brain health to start to connect with this and start to like, okay, now these are the results. Like, you know that this is one thing, this is the other thing, and you can be like, these are separate. I know that they are not separate, but how you connected the dots and created something that is helping much better your customers, every person that you are working with.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, as you probably can tell, going through this with my daughter, it was really hard. And there were many times that I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to, because I just didn't, it felt impossible. So, one of the things with the neuroencoding is we look at what the negative thoughts are. What are the negative thoughts and the negative beliefs? What are the lies? Dr. Amen calls it the ants, the automatic negative thoughts. And we actually are going to flip those lies and those limiting thoughts and beliefs to what is true. And then we are going to look at what is true and what we do want and what we're creating. So there's lots of different pieces with that. I've also worked with another therapist, Maurice Harker, and he's got a great book called Like Dragons, the Big Fight, where I have also worked on these tools that help us. And so, it's a process of stopping and pattern interrupting of, okay, I have this limiting thought or this limiting belief. Okay, stop. And what is true and what do I want to create? So then again, we have our why, we have our vision of, okay, this is what I want. I want good health. I want wellness. I want to be able to take my daughter wherever I want and not worry about her being exposed to something that's going to throw her over and we're going to be in a dangerous situation, which is what my life was for quite a few years, about 3.5 years. And then we look at, okay, what is my plan? Because we have to look at what the problem is, and then we have to, okay, here's my plan, and we're going to create, strategies of what we're going to do to help us to get to our goal. And of course, it took a good solid 3 years where my daughter was not reacting to everything when we went out. So much so that when we moved, that people didn't even know she had been sick. So, We still had to be careful. We just didn't have to be on the extreme like we were before.
Yes, and here something that it's important, and I want to emphasize that is you are talking about, okay, the one that is sick is your kid, but the one that is having limiting beliefs and like tired and everything is you.
Yes.
So when you are doing neuroencoding here, what you see is at the end it's a mix of, okay, you are trying to help your kid, but you are the one that are having limiting beliefs, and you are the one that is not really understanding how to, like, you are like, this is enough, and it's like you are not the sick person, and I know that your kid is almost like it's you, or you feel that it's better that you are sick than her. But I want to emphasize that, because that's exactly what's happening always when there is somebody that you really care and you really love that is sick. The one that is having limiting beliefs, the one that is like sometimes not believing. I am believing, but the next time I am at the bathroom crying because I don't want anybody to see that I am crying. I have to be strong. And at the same time, I am in front of them and I have a big smile that you are going to heal. And I don't think so. And you have this like good and bad at the same time in your head. So that's something that I know a lot of people that is listening today can be like going through. Like, okay, I have this. I have to be strong for my kid or for that person that I love. But at the same time, I don't know how. I am not believing in myself. I am enough. I have been through a lot of things for a long time. So how, before you had the tools that you have right now, how you deal with those struggles, and how are you dealing with those now?
Wow, that's a great question, and it does bring emotions up, so I will try to keep my emotions in control here.
Bring
I
them up. It's okay.
I'm hoping that will stay down. Um, I really had to turn to God. I really had to anchor to God, and He really is a huge source of power in my life, and thankfully, I already had that instilled in my life
Yeah.
because I really at that point, I mean, I didn't really have anybody to turn to because I had people, even criticizing me. Why aren't you taking her to the doctor? And I was. That was the hard part because I was. And I would do it over and over and have the same thing. And I was going to this doctor and it was working. Of course, it takes time. And again, he couldn't give me a lot of other information. I would call him and he would support me. He's like, it's working. And I had to trust in him too. That was hard.
Mm.
And then I had my friend that led me there, who had also been struggling with her own son, and we kind of bound together. So I did have a supportive community there, and I had a few other people that I could reach out to. And having the support along the way is really important. Even if other people don't understand you, you got to still stay focused on your goal, because it's interesting you point that out because I've kind of forgotten that aspect that my daughter had complete trust in me,
Mm.
yet I didn't trust myself because I really didn't know what I was doing. And so then I had to have trust and have faith in God because I know He's given us plans. He's given us all the things that we need to heal ourselves. He's given us, hope. And He's also inspired other people who were already farther ahead in this process than me, with
Yeah.
knowledge and with um, their own faith and confidence that these things will work. And so that is where I had to really trust God. I had to trust myself, and I did have to trust those that were around me that I could lean on. And then I had to trust her body. I had to really trust her body that all that we were doing really was working. I could see it, and we would get moving forward, and they call these healing crisis. She would hit a healing crisis, and she'd slide back. And thankfully, that was relayed to me, and I'd be like, oh, okay. And so I'd be like, okay, we can slow down on some things, and then we keep going forward. You know, the whole mentality with this is to not give up and to not stop. Because anytime you give up, whether this was with health and wellness, or if you have some trauma or abuse or anything like that, anytime you give up, that's not helping. You know, it doesn't solve anything. And so we can, you know, take a breather, we can slow down, and keep remembering what our goal is, what we're fighting to. You know, have my child heal. And I've also had some other areas in my own life where it was really hard, you know, and it seemed like it would be easier to give up. And I had to remember, no, it's okay. This is really hard, and you can do this. And I do have means of support. Just reach out if I need to, and just give yourself some, you know, self-care and a little bit of grace, you know, be compassionate with ourselves. I know at times I was really hard on myself, and just because there was a lot to think about. There was a lot, you know, my daughter's life was really on the line. I mean, she had some moments I thought I was going to lose her. And again, I'd pray to God and say, okay, I need your help right now, because I'm doing everything I know how. And the cool thing is more doors would open. And so what I found is so cool. As I would get to this wall where I think there was nothing else that could help, and I would pray, and I would keep looking and keep researching and keep asking, that these doors would open, and I would find answers. And a lot of times it's knowing what questions to ask. And I think, I don't even remember who said this, if you can create the answer, or if you can create the question, the answer will be found. If you can formulate the question, the answer will be found. And so I just would keep asking questions and asking questions. And I would just, the other thing that I've learned is if I will just keep doing what has been working while we're maintaining, then I can wait. It holds the space for me to wait for those other answers to come. And for me, I have kept learning this over and over. If I can just hold the space, okay, we know this is working, this is keeping us safe. All right, now I just need to keep searching for what that next step is, and waiting, because maybe I'm not even ready for it yet. And when the time is right, it's every single time there has been an answer, and there has been a way for me to be able to move forward, whether that's been, you know, with my own healing, or with my daughter, or with even, you know, clients and patients that I work with. You know, as we're waiting for the body to heal, and it takes time. It's line upon line. You know, we move forward. We might have some healing crises and setbacks, and then we find some more answers, and we are able to move forward.
Okay, I want to interrupt you here just to emphasize again on something that you are talking that I believe it's important. Every person that is going through something like this, and we are talking about two things here. The person that is sick and maybe you are not there, you are just helping that person, or you are sick and you are having this type of issues. But one thing that you said several things that I believe are very important. One is community.
Yes.
You create a community and you have people that understand you, and with that community you can grow and you can like have a good conversation, not with all the other people that is not really connecting or knowing where are you going through. So that's something that it's important. Another one that I believe it's key here is your daughter has had a belief in you. She was believing in you, and even when you were not believing in you, she was doing that, and that activated something in you that you started to do all the things that you did, and how you started to create all the things, and how you connected even with God and started to look for communities and other stuff. Everything started with how your daughter was believing in you. And
Yes.
that's something that is key in this process, understanding that. The other one, trust the process.
Yes.
That's something that it's key also when you are talking. Is like, okay, trust the process. Sometimes in the middle you don't understand and you don't see anything, but trust the process. And of course, you can be learning in the process, and you can be looking for other answers and trying to see, but don't stop and never give up. Don't stop. That's another thing that you said. And something that I have learned a lot with this part of subconscious and how it works with the conscious mind, and a lot of this is really what activates God to help you, and what activates the universe to help you is faith.
Mhm.
If you don't have faith, there is no way you can create anything. And that's what I am looking at this with you. It's like, what is the faith? So I don't know the answer. I don't know how I'm going to help this kid, my daughter. I don't know, but I have faith that there is something outside that is going to help me, and there is some way, and there is a process that is going to help me, and that's exactly what happened to you, and that exactly created this process. So thank you for this. This is something that I wanted to emphasize with everybody that is listening, because I believe that this can really change the process that you are going and how it's affecting you.
Absolutely. It is. And it is a process even with ourself, establishing that faith and re-anchoring into that faith. And I think another really important aspect is nourishing ourselves, taking time for self-care, going for a walk, listening to uplifting music, refilling our own spirit and our own minds and hearts with those good things that can help sustain us, to be able to face those hard challenges. And one thing that I really worked with people on is creating processes that are clear for those that I work with, where they have clarity of, okay, we're going to start here and we're going to have a foundation. Foundation with health, starting with digestion and chewing our foods, basic things, sitting down in a relaxed position. And then also giving tools for our mindset and our mind with reframing, finding those automatic negative thoughts and lies. And when we feel the emotions, for me, I usually feel the emotions flooding first, and then I will be like, okay, well, what are the limiting beliefs? What are the lies? What's going on in my head, spinning around? And I stop. Okay, stop. Now let's find out what is true. And okay, now what do I need to go do? So if the lie is, oh, you're not good enough, you can do that. I'll flip that to, wait, that's a lie. I am doing this. I've got a lot of great things I'm doing, and I'm working towards this. And this is my next plan of what I'm going to do. I'm going to do A, B, and C, and then I'm going to implement that and see how it goes. And as I, take action and start moving towards that goal, or going and doing something, reaching out to somebody, it's going to help neutralize those negative thoughts and those chemicals that are flooding in the system, so that then I can be my best self, be motivated again, and move forward in those things that I want to do. And those things that are not only going to help myself, but they're also going to help everybody else around me.
Mm.
And it's, go ahead.
No, Shanae, I think she wanted to ask something.
Yeah. So Marquelle, you went through a really rough time with your child, and it probably affected your whole family. So, what advice would you give for someone who is going through such a hectic time? Um, how, like, sometimes it's hard to just keep going. People don't have the sometimes they don't feel like they don't have the ability to just carry on, just keep on keeping on. What advice would you give to those people?
I have a few things that came to my mind. The first thing is honor yourself where you're at.
Mhm.
If you're just totally feeling overwhelmed and flooded, we're humans, and life does get hard sometimes. and just really accept it. And I find that when we resist it and we want to deny it or we wish it away, that actually that makes it harder. And this took me many years with another incident where I really resisted. And once I finally accepted my story, accepted where I was at and how hard all this has been and how hard it is, all of the obstacles that I had faced, I actually was able to then be able to move forward again. So I think honoring our emotions, honoring where we're at, honoring how hard this is. And if we can shift into accepting it rather than having shame about it and wanting to push it away, and we can write about it. For me, writing is such a powerful tool because I can, all the stuff that's in my head, I just put it out on the paper, real and raw with it, and how upset I am, and it's not getting better, and I don't know if any of this is even worth it, blah, 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 whatever it is, And then what that does is that helps to slow the mind down, and it also gives all that stuff a voice. It's heard on the paper.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that is then I can stand up and I can walk away, and it's like a burden is lifted. Like my load is lighter, my mind is clear because it had a place for all that stuff to go. So if you can write about it and then just reevaluate, where are you at? What is your goal? Has it shifted? Do we want to keep working towards that? Or do you have a different focus now? Because sometimes maybe you've achieved where you want to be and now you want to focus somewhere else. And if that is the case, that's perfectly fine. So redefine your why and what you're working towards. What is your end goal? And if it's the same thing, okay, you're tired right now. And what's your next step? Just one next step. What do you want to do to be able to move forward? Or what do you need to do to just care for yourself right now in this moment? And just to really be okay with that, because that's okay too, to slow down and, okay, I got to take a break. Okay, well, how long you want this goal? How long do you want your break to be? You want it to be 1 day, 1 week? Do you want it to be a year? Or are you just going to give up? And a lot of times if you ask people, do you want to just give up? They'll be like, oh, actually, I don't want to do that. Okay, so what do you want to do? Because it's always their choice. We're just there to help guide and to support and encourage and give them that hope and that certainty to lean on when they're feeling. And I think that's important, to have somebody that you can lean on that's like, okay, it's okay. You can, it's okay to feel like that right now. And I'm here if you want to keep moving forward and keep working on this. Let's just restructure.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
and I love that, Markel, because you're talking again acceptance. That is something important. That is difficult. I am not saying that this is easy. Sometimes it's very difficult. Like accept this thing that is happening, and you are going to be better tomorrow after you accept this, the good or the bad, and you have to accept it and honor the emotions. That's something that is also important. That's why when you told me in this show, I am going to, it's okay. It's okay to do it. And thank you for being that honest and that open today. It was really amazing. And I believe touch a lot of people. This is something really good. Thank you, Markel, for being here, for being this light in the world. This is something that we are looking for, this type of people like you that is really looking for change the lives of people, that it's honoring and doing all this help. So thank you really for doing it and for sharing your story.
And thank you, Sinead. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
It's such a pleasure. It was good having you on the show.
Thank you.
All right.
So Thank you, everyone that is listening to us. Thank you, Markel, again. This was really amazing. That's why we were like, okay, a couple of weeks ago, we had some issues with internet. Today also, but we could hear your story, so that is great. That is
Yeah.
exactly what we were looking for. And we knew that it was going to be amazing. So thank you again. This
Thank
show
you.
can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all, and thank you, Shanae, again for this amazing day.
Thank you.